Yeah, so stable coins, which are digital private sector dollar-backed currencies. It's not crypto because it's tethered to the U.S. dollar. They have to have dollar-backed assets. They have to have treasuries or cash to back those stable coins. There's not a law that governs these right now, so they aren't really deployed. But if you actually have a law, which Patrick McHenry and Chair Waters, Maxine Waters and Patrick McHenry are putting a deal together. Schumer is in talks with them. I think there's a reasonable chance they could get a deal on stablecoin legislation. That means you have a legal framework in which you have stablecoins deployed. You'd go from a couple $100 billion of stablecoins to, maybe trillions. Right now, stablecoins are like the 16th largest buyer of bonds, bills, and notes among all sovereigns. If you actually regulate stablecoins, have them deployed, that does two things. That gets the U.S. dollar more deeply ingrained in the oncoming digitization of currencies. That's a good thing. And you create new consumers' demand for our bonds because they have to have those to back up the stablecoins. So more demand for treasuries, more use of a digital dollar throughout the system to help better entrench the dollar. It's a win-win situation for America. I think it's a no-brainer. I'm hopeful, cautiously optimistic Congress might do that this year still. There are good talks happening. And that's one thing you could do on the margins to try and, improve demand for our bonds and improve dollar.
So you said potentially trillions. Is that a get out of jail free card on the debt crisis?
It's not that big. But look, sovereigns are not buying our bonds like they used to.
Welcome to the Crypto Teacher. And I come back with that video just to make you think.
Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel.
And make sure you're joining the Patrons. If you're not a part of the Patrons, make sure you're hitting the Cash App. And guys, we have the truth revealed. If you have my NWO book, you already know this. But we have Paul Ryan coming out with the truth. And like we already know, these stable coins allow the central bank Ponzi scheme to keep going. But they're going to have even more power because these stable coins are programmable, telling you what, where, and when, how to buy, and you have 3 to 6 months to spend them or poof, it's gone. And like paper money, they can print it out of thin air but at zero cost. And then program it to tell you what, when, and how to buy, and you have 3 to 6 months to spend it or poof, it's gone. And we know if money's not real, that means debt is not real. But unfortunately, the sheep are asleep. And we know by the time they wake up, the machines would have taken over the economy. Whether robots, algorithms, and drones take the economy over, pay each other with crypto, and the sheep go inside the metaverse. And because we have so many people that are waking up, that's the reason why the Fed sped this thing up. Went ahead and printed 80% of all money in existence in 2 years. Yes, you heard that correct. And that's the reason why we're getting all this inflation. But that gave them the opportunity to raise rates the fastest in history. And now we're seeing banks crumble, small businesses crumble, and of course the consumer is crumbling, not just in the United States, across the globe. And we know why. We're in a fragmented world. They have to destroy this whole legacy market in order for the fourth industrial revolution to rise. And remember, the Crypto Teacher told you, because he knows when it comes to the NWO, it's all planned out. You have a wonderful day.
A lot of people who don't understand that what certain public figures say is not necessarily what they mean. It's as though the whole thing's choreographed like a Netflix series. It's probably rated number 8 on the new release page. The twist of the drama is that the more we hear from these hawkish officials, the worse the economy gets. And eventually we all win because the Fed needs a soft economy before it can cut.
Why does the Fed keep saying that financial conditions are tight? They're not tight. We think that monetary policy in part works through financial conditions. And if the business community does not feel like financial conditions are tight, that makes me question maybe we're not as restrictive as we would have guessed.
Right, but it begs the question, do you want to go higher then and to make it really tight?
Well, for me, I think...
Don't tempt him. No, you made me do that.
Austin and I are actually landing in a similar place from different perspectives. I'm in a wait-and-see mode. Let's get a lot more data to see if disinflation is going to continue or if we're stalling out.
But you're not ruling it out, Neil.
Well, you can't. Nobody can rule it out. But we are all committed to getting inflation back.
What about you?
I don't know. I don't rule. Everything. Nothing is never not on the table. And the job of central bankers to be paranoid about everything.
One of your colleagues this morning, Austin, said that she did not believe that rates should be cut this year.
Was that a question?
It is a question.
Okay. Look, as you know, I don't like tying our hands, even partially, when we're going to get a lot of data and important information before the next meeting, much less for the rest of the year. Mm-hmm. I think I don't want to speculate about the conditions. What we need, the data dogs need to do some sniffing and figure out,
right,
are we going to be on the path like what we saw last year, where inflation fell almost as much as it has ever fallen in a year without a recession? Or did we kind of use up all of our good luck, and this bump of the beginning of the year is actually a sign of overheating? That's the thing that we're trying to wrap our head.
Before you answer that question,
find the opportunities. I do think it's going to be a rolling wall of thunder. You're going to, every time a loan matures, it's a negotiation or an explosion. There's an extension. A borrower tries to come up with money. He doesn't have it. He has to go to people like us, or in the old days, there were doctors and lawyers and friends, and raise the money to pay down the debt rather than give the asset back. It'll be market by market, asset by asset. And we reported earnings today from Sawt Property Trust, the nation's largest mortgage REIT. And, we're navigating this fairly well. We have $1.5 billion of liquidity in the company, and we're playing defense. We're not playing offense right now. We're making sure that if a borrower needs money, we're willing to take the property back and do with it what he was going to do with it, just at a lower basis. So we took back a building in Washington, D.C., but it easily converts to residential, and we'll go ahead and make it a residential project and finish the project. And it was going to be an office building, but at our basis, which was 60 cents of his basis, it works as a residential. So that's what we don't care. We're agnostic as long as we do well for shareholders.
Going to a different economy, and we're going to be learning more about that as we go. But clearly, we're learning that things can be done from remote locations. We're learning that technology can replace people even more than we thought.
We're not going back to the same economy. We're recovering, but to a different economy, and it'll be one that is more leveraged to technology. And I worry that is going to make it even more difficult than it was for many workers.
In Silicon Valley, and my friends who work in technology know that what we did to the manufacturing workers, we are now going to do to the retail workers, the call center workers, the fast food workers, the truck drivers, and then even bookkeepers, accountants, insurance agents, lawyers, and on through the economy. So what happened to the manufacturing workers is a very clear sign.
And so we'll import Chinese-based CBDC technology. So it's going to be CBDC in a box provided to you by the People's Bank of China.
But every stock, every bond, every currency, every commodity, every piece of art, every private business, every piece of real estate will eventually be a token on a blockchain, an entry on a ledger, permanent and immutable. We will have truth instead of trust, and we will save over $7 trillion a year. 6 to 8% of global GDP is wasted by the friction of the trust industry that's necessary when you have dual entry accounting. With triple entry accounting, which is what a blockchain is, we get rid of all of that friction. It's a beautiful future.
Like what you see in China and their social credit scoring systems, right? If we get identity wrong, it could be a tool to enslave humanity. And if we get it right, it could be a tool to liberate humanity. And as an American, I'm obviously rooting for the one that's on the side of freedom.
Bitcoin is an international asset. And also, I do believe the role of crypto is, it's digitizing gold.
I actually believe this technology is going to be very important. Look at it. We have been part of the huge revolution in investing through ETFs. We believe that ETFs will be changing the whole way we invest. Many people still use it as a means, people are investing it for indexing. No, the majority of people who are putting money in in ETFs are active investors that are buying exposure. The entire bond market is being transformed as we talk right now. I believe the next generation for markets, the next generation for securities will be tokenization of securities. We will, and if we can have that distributed ledger that we know every beneficial owner, every beneficial seller, we all have our code of who's buying, who's selling, instantaneous settlement. And think about it, it changes the whole ecosystem.
Chinese bank ICBC has been hit by a ransomware attack, and the U.S. Treasury market, as a result of that, has been disrupted. This, according to the Financial Times. We're getting it more right now with Bloomberg's Shonali Bassick. Shonali, what do we know?
Listen, we have the Financial Times now reporting that ICBC, one of China's largest banks here, was hit with a ransomware attack. And remember, they're a very significant intermediary in the Treasury market. The SIFMA has told its members that this has been part of the reason here that the system is kind of clogged up, if you will, during that auction that we saw a little bit before. The attack had prevented ICBC, according to the Financial Times, from settling Treasury trades on behalf of other market participants. A large executive at a major bank also telling the paper that such a large party on the fixed income clearing corp creates major concerns, potentially impacting the liquidity of Treasury markets. Now,
it was not just a poor auction. It was absolutely lousy, and you know, when the dealers have to step in to save a Treasury auction, that's a rare occurrence.
I hate when countries go off the dollar. I would not allow countries to go off the dollar, because when we lose that standard, that will be like losing a revolutionary war. That will be a hit to our country, just like losing a war. And we can't let that happen. And too many countries now are fighting to get off the dollar.
Cryptoteacher and the New World Order book, plus the 3 kids books. It's time to re-educate. Also, new to cryptos, Coinbase, Bitrue, Binance. Do not forget book links and crypto links are in the description. The stock channel, guys. Don't forget to go like, subscribe, spread everywhere. You have your Kobo, your chip stocks, your banking, your gaming. While everybody's sitting at home, get on stocks, the Seaver, the biotech stocks. And while everybody's at home wishing they were still getting that free money, what are they doing? Drinking and smoking weed. Don't forget about those stocks, and you have a wonderful day. The most powerful person in the world is the storyteller. The storyteller sets the vision, values, and agenda of an entire generation to come. Steve Jobs. And guys, you know I truly believe in this. When you look at the New World Order, they're the storytellers. And that's the reason why I wrote my New World Order book. But guys, now it's time to change the current generation. And I wrote 3 kids books. You know, I love the Trinity because I understand the power that's in it. So I have 3 books. We have an opportunity to change the generation, to educate, not just me, but I want to show you that I take action on a daily basis. And I want you to take action on a daily basis. Whether it's your job, whether it's in your community, we have an opportunity right now to educate the masses. I posted this on my Twitter account. Please share, but this is a short clip of the 3 books. There's going to be a clothing line and action figures. Please get these books for your kids, nephews, cousins, friends, so therefore we can start the re-education now. Because as we see, the 4th Industrial Revolution foundation is definitely here. Robots, algorithms, drones, taking humanity out the picture. We have to re-educate. But let's get into the video.
Part 1. King Joshua and Drama Team save the village. Part 2. King Joshua and Drama Team save New York from COVID 33. Part 3. King Joshua and Drama Team goes to China.
It's mandatory to get part 1, part 2, and part 3 of this series. It's time to re-educate Generation Z.